Advice any couple that are young in their romantic maturity should consider. Be very careful when you approach a romantic relationship that you know who your spouse is. And I get, things come with time. I'm pretty sure as well, you learn things of marriage as well that you might not have known about the person. So you might, get to the altar. You don't know everything about your partner. But this is, a good piece of advocacy for at least marriage, being like, before you get on the altar, get to know your partner. Perhaps don't jump into situations too quickly. Make sure you're still, of course, that you're in a safe position. And make sure the person you're with is a safe person. But again, like I said, get to know them, because the knowledge you have of that person will not only give you clarity in determining whether they're a safe person to associate themselves or yourself to or not, but you know what you can expect going forward. And maybe that will include gathering some knowledge on family. And I get the relatives might pose an issue. There's family drama in every family. I get it. Families are complicated. This one especially. So like I said, get to know the person you're with. So we're going to look at this new Secrets in the Woods movie, aka Off the Grid. I like both. I mean, Off the Grid's kind of a common saying, but it kind of works in the context with Secrets in the Woods. I know. I think it's more explicit to at least the plot. But this is coming from MarVista Entertainment, a studio that you might, at this channel at this point, you might be very familiar with, and the fact that I cover them quite extensively. For those of you who aren't aware who they are, they're a TV movie distribution company primarily, and they mostly deal in the realm of thrillers. Yes, they make content in every genres. Christmas movies are another big commodity for them, as well as they can make a couple like family dramas and some like romance films for other seasons too. Like Thanksgiving, maybe they had a Thanksgiving movie, or at least one set kind of in that area, I think, if I remember right, a while back. But they typically do thrillers. Very common thrillers of, girl meets guy. This is, I guess, fitting into the trope. Although there's a little more drama here, but they're very well known for making thrillers of a very similar vein, where a girl meets a good guy that she perceives as better than he actually is, and then she learns later, with consequences following, that perhaps he's not the best person. That's what you're getting here. Now, I will say there's some elements of familiarity beyond the MarVista branding. Taylor Frey starring in here. I've seen him before. He's actually a great actor and a good singer. I think I've heard a couple of his tunes. I believe he's a singer as well on the side. But again, like I said, a project with some depth that is reminiscent of a lot of our MarVista content. But this is the MarVista branding that's attributed here. And for those of you who know MarVista, you're quite familiar with this. Not only do they do a lot of thrillers, but they also have a tendency to spoil their thrillers in their marketing. This is a common thing for them. They have not changed their ways, even no matter how much I've complained about it. Although, it is funny to talk about, because again, I don't see every studio really behaving this way. Yes, maybe one time or never you have a trailer that it might show too much and go too far. But this studio does this all the time. Every trailer, basically, they'll take a 90-minute, on average, TV movie, boil it down to 3 minutes. And they'll give you all the twists and turns of what the necessities of the film are. It's basically you watching like, well, I just saw the film in 5 minutes. Do I need to go watch the full length? Not really. I have in some occasions, and they're good films. You just have to forget that you already knew what was happening going in. But let's go ahead and take a look at the synopsis for this. And we're going to watch a trailer in a second, but this is according to IMDb. This is what you can expect for the project. A woman discovers a horrifying secret about her boyfriend's father during a romantic getaway in the woods. This really is like just a bad situation. I mean, again, these two are, I don't know the status of their relationship. Perhaps they're early days, or, well, I guess they're not. Well, maybe they're engaged or not. Because, I mean, when you say, like, boyfriend, I'm thinking, like, dating. Otherwise, you might say fiancé. Or, some might just use the phrase, like, oh, my boyfriend or whatever. I don't know the status. But I would imagine, again, possibly early days, but not to the engagement level. And she doesn't know exactly what she's going into. And she's going into a situation with somebody she's obviously still getting to know in the woods. That's just problematic on many different levels. Like, has anybody else seen a horror film or a thriller movie in the forest space where, not as much contact with the outside world? And anybody else find this troubling? I mean, I don't know. But she could be like, oh, I'm just swept in love with this guy. Give it more time. Honestly. Let's go ahead, though, and see the fallout from this, because I'm sure there will be a lot of that in this case. We're going to watch this first, and we're going to talk about it more. My condensed yourself us watching the video together. In life, there are mistakes, but sometimes, unfortunately, we learn them too late. And MarVista thrillers, you see that a lot. Okay, here we go, especially in romantic context.
I am not bringing lingerie to a cabin in the middle of nowhere.
I guess you know what he likes.
It's only been 3 months.
Will you promise me
This is a conversation I don't need to be privy to.
promise to bring my
Yeah, it's
sister
him.
back in one
He grew a
piece?
beard.
Sister's in good hands.
That's new.
It is
I'm used to the clean-shaven sheet.
up in here.
Home sweet home.
Oh.
Cabin in the woods.
So do you think you could ever retire in a place like this?
Maybe. I might want a road leading up
I
to
would
my
have
house.
waited for the step of marriage, just
Hold
saying.
on. My backpack's gone.
Again, it's a little too, I think maybe too fast, at least from what you've seen from the
Someone is
synopsis.
out there.
If there was somebody out there, I would know.
Brant? Brant?
You look beautiful when you're terrified.
What happened?
Sandra, I want you to meet my father.
I'm the man of this house.
Okay, oh.
And this house needs a woman.
I see a connection to, like, Gerald's game.
Wake up at dawn.
Actually, now thinking about some of the elements that they've shown so far kind of appear that
We
way.
take all meals together at the table like civilized people.
I lost my appetite.
And if you
You weren't supposed to say
I
that.
will hunt you down.
But yeah, I would imagine she's very uncomfortable in the situation.
So I had to kill her myself. Get some rest, sweetheart. You got a big day tomorrow.
Yeah, really,
I need to
it makes me physically uncomfortable.
I have to go now.
And she's trapped inside.
This is what you prefer, darling, so be it.
You know you're a natural fit out here.
You kidnapped me.
Told you,
Your
bad guy.
I really wish this could have worked differently.
And Dad doesn't seem much better, but you especially.
I didn't want this. Goodbye, sweetheart.
You know, I'd probably say that line too, at least after or during all that. That's actually really well put. Goodbye, sweetheart. Although sweetheart's kind of like ironically phrased, because like they don't seem like, or he doesn't seem like a sweetheart at all, really. Some elements of, like I said, of familiarity. I mean, everybody else probably has seen this type of film, like, oh, a cabin in the woods, you know, someone goes off somewhere. Yeah, that's, you know, again, like, trouble could brew. But especially, again, like, you're in your early days of relationship, and obviously you don't know, you know, she doesn't know this guy that well, but she's all swept up in love, right? She thinks she's met Mr. Right. He's not. I think that's obvious. Yes, this show, I think, a bit too much towards the end of a trailer, again, per usual. Although you knew kind of like, you get the sense generally that like, well, she's going to have to, I guess, pull herself out of a situation. Or maybe somebody, or some other much better Prince Charming could go run into her, you know, her safety than faux Charming. Does that work? I don't know. Like I said, some definite shades to Gerald's game. Different aspects. Although there was a father there too. Although the involvement was very different. But I mean, you might see shades of this. And again, like I said, it's a very different movie. A very good film. Very well done. Probably, actually, it's a Stephen King project I truly believe is very underappreciated. It's probably actually my favorite, honestly. Like, maybe even a little higher than The Shining, to be honest with you. And The Shining's good. Well, other than some content errors that I think were completely unnecessary, like the, you know, the woman in, or 327, we'll just put it that way. Was that needed? Anyway, it didn't need to be shown for sure. But Gerald's Game is a very good story. If you've not seen it, it's an incredibly adult picture, but very well done. But like I said, some of the elements here of this couple that go, well, in that case, the two were married, but these two are going off on a romantic getaway in basically the middle of nowhere on the countryside in this home that they have. Well, it's not really his, it's his dad's. But, you know, she's, I guess, all swept up in love, but then she's handcuffed to the bed. Yep, she's literally imprisoned. Scary. And Dad is not much better. I mean, Dad's sending very creepy vibes. But, you know, I guess her husband is too. And that did, like, the shoulder rubbing. Yeah, after, like, well, you know, we obviously know what's going on here. Is that the dad or is that... No, I think that's his son. Like, the boyfriend. Physically uncomfortable. I just sitting there watching that going, I feel for you. But she gets out of a situation. I think they have that, again, the scripting is very good on that part. Like, goodbye, sweetheart. Like, after what you just went through, I would probably respond with the same antagonistic spirit about me. Very well done. And they're part, at least in terms of making a good, like, wood set thriller. Typical territory for MarVista. And again, they probably didn't need to go so far towards the end with the resolution. But I would be open to watching it. Although, again, it's kind of hard to watch in some parts. But... it's a romantic romantic set in the woods thriller. It's going to be intense, with some family drama. Although I will say, you know, in retrospect, I mean, okay, yeah, every family's got drama, and mine's got some issues, but we're not this bad off. Anyway, well, yeah. Like I said, know who you're with. Pretty much the ultimate message of this movie. What are your guys' thoughts of Secrets in the Woods? Let me know down below. Don't forget all that stuff. Like, subscribing, and sharing, the hit bell. Until I get to watch more MarVista fillers, which we will. There's a whole lot of these movies, and I cover them pretty extensively on this channel. Even though, again, they don't change their ways. They still spoil their films. It's kind of funny, at this point, to acknowledge, because they just never fix it. I will see you guys where a point that happens to be. But for now, thanks for watching this video. I love you guys. Over to your fellow man. God bless, and peace.